Attractions don't always get downgraded. Back in the day, Disney used to set a certain standard, a certain show, and maintain those standards as an attraction's lifespan was extended out. But here, we're getting a big downgrade, and I have a bunch of theories as to why, but I want to go ahead and hear from you guys. Here we go from Blog Mickey. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure switching to 2D at EPCOT. New props coming to queue and attraction, October 17th, 2025. Walt Disney World has just announced that Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will transition from a 3D attraction into a 2D attraction following a short refurbishment in November. And this follows the announcement that the sister attraction in Disneyland Paris is moving to 2D going forward. And here's that announcement right there. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will experience a short downtime between November 10th to 13th, 2025, and will return with enhanced digital visuals and clearer imagery projected in 2D. Remy's fans will spot new props and lighting enhancements when they are added to the queue and attraction over the next few months right here. Jim Shull, former Imagineer who actually worked on this specific attraction, actually weighed in on this. Very interesting. As the original creative director for Ratatouille's Adventure, the decision made to go 3D due to the story scale. The pantry scene... He missed one letter there, and people have been ribbing him for it, but we'll go ahead and move on. Demonstrates what the show would scale to if all were dimensional. Flat screens, no 3D, fail to sell the scale of the story.
It can't.
And he goes on. Remy's scale was meant to sell guests that they were the size of a rat. 3D was the way to go, and the ride was designed for that. Removing 3D reduces maintenance costs for Disneyland Paris at the price of the guest experience. Very intriguing right here. And that's kind of what I kind of surmised from this, that this was a budget cut. But I kind of want to know from you before providing my full thoughts on this. What do you think of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure getting rid of, in EPCOT now, 3D?
Personally, for me, I'm going to need to see it and see how it works out. I don't mind the 3D, but some people do have visual issues with 3D, so maybe it'll be fine. But he's right about the scale. I think seeing it three-dimensionally, I mean, at least my experience on the ride so far, and I've ridden this quite a few times, it's pretty, you feel like you're in the space, more so when you're in like the car that gets to the middle of the screen, because there's sometimes like you're on the too far to the right or too far to the left, and it gets skewed a bit. But with the 3D, it's an okay attraction. I've never loved this attraction. I think my wife likes it a lot. But it's just been an okay attraction. It's nothing I would want to wait 75 minutes for it. And a lot of times the line gets really ridiculously long for this. So again, is it going to make a huge difference as far as the popularity of the attraction? I don't think so. But maybe it will. It just, it's one of those things that I really have to see for myself to know how much of a difference it's going to make, considering that Soarin' definitely feels immersive, but it's not 3D. But the screens on this are much smaller than the Soarin' screen, so it's really going to be interesting to see how it works out. I don't know.
Culture, I once heard the statistics surrounding this specific attraction that the 3D scenes that are projected on the various screens, as Ron beautifully pointed out right there, the render time for those actually, I think it was longer than the original film of Ratatouille itself, back when Pixar released that film. I want to know from you, is this just budget cut, or is this, responding genuinely? Because I believe Disney, that's the reasoning that they offered up, was that guests were complaining about the 3D. Is this a response to guests, or is this just a downgrade for budget cuts' sake?
This is Disney saving money. Disney is always saving money. They really do want to eliminate maintenance in any way they can, or any kind of financial expense of an attraction, because they want to offer. That's going to look terrible. The ghost effect, everything that we're looking at now, is not going to work. So it's going to look blurry. I mean, even if they obviously they're going to change the film, but I think it's going to look pretty awful. And without the dimensions, you don't have the right perspective. So I think Disney's lying or manipulating guest surveys, but because they quote unquote do research and they use it however they want.
Pretty much, yes.
Research probably told them, no, it's great. Get rid of Frontierland. As it's, I'm sure that's what this research said. So I never believed Disney on that. Yeah, which is not true. But it was kind of a necessary part of the park that I promise you guests are going to notice or is not there. And, when you get a giant cement island in the middle of that space, your heat index is going to rise dramatically in the park throughout the area. But back to this, it's always about saving money for Disney. They think about the fact that they don't have to have employees, collecting the glasses, making sure they're disinfected and all of that. So it has zero to do with guests and more to do with Disney trying to, cut something else in the guest experience. Maybe nothing will have 3D anymore. Can you imagine, what is that? Flight of Passage. Can you imagine Flight of Passage without 3D?
I was just about to bring that up because I believe it was Braden, Sir Braden over there at Mickey Views, actually, talking about how there was some discussion amongst teams at Disney looking to reduce operating costs any way they can. Yeah, which is just a brain dead decision, but okay, I guess we had to funnel all the cash over there to the entertainment department. Anyway, I say entertainment department. It's really entertainment for the Walt Disney Company. But I digress. Braden was talking about how they were considering that because they wanted to reduce the ongoing operating costs associated with having to replace those glasses, which they still haven't done. And the issue that's presented is that because those glasses have been used over and over and over again, you're getting these kind of micro scratches. Oh,
they're
in
there,
glasses,
yeah, for sure, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And those are custom glasses for that experience, and it's having an effect on the actual film in which it's blurry to the guest actually seeing it, and so it's like, well, we could just remove these, and apparently, I believe John Lando and James Campbell were like, no, like hard pass on that. But it does present this kind of thing where it's like, okay, well, it's gonna take so much money to actually replace these glasses. Do we actually do that? But it's like it should be. I mean, to reduce quality to that extent is shocking. But culture, to your point, they have considered that before.
And look, I mean, it's Toy Story Midway Mania without the 3D effect won't work at all.
I don't know.
No.
I mean, it's like, what are you doing? I mean, this is how garbage Disney's become. They're not willing to reinvest in their attractions. In fact, what they are willing to do is reinvest in bars.
or pro-invest in bars. Wow, the bars thing. I can't believe Beacon Barrel. Sorry. It's that would have me going on a tangent that I do not want to go on. EPCOT is the drinking park, but not Magic Kingdom. I can't. And the freaking lobby bar in Grand Floridian, what a disaster.
Disgusting.
It's true. But Ron, I think you've heard as well that Flight of Passage, with those custom glasses, it's like, okay, let's go ahead and admit those. And my thing is like, look, you have, what is it? Forbidden Journey over there at Universal Studios. Now Florida never had 3D, but I think Universal Japan did for a period of time. And Universal Studios Hollywood, when it opened its own version of Forbidden Journey, I believe in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, it actually came with 3D pre-installed. And they were quick to remove it because I think genuinely they were getting feedback that it was causing motion sickness. And I do believe that is correct because I've never really had a problem with that attraction unless it did have 3D. And it was like, okay, this is very, very intense. Right. So in that way, it's like, okay, we're going to respond to guest surveys. But for this, I just don't buy it.
Sorry, that certainly was bothering me.
I'm looking at this for the future, and it's telling you the direction that Disney's going, and all of a sudden I'm having Paul Pressler flashbacks, and I'm not okay with that. You know what I mean? It's like parks are headed on a downhill trajectory that has been unchecked for way too long.
Way too long. Very concerned about the Paul Pressler analogy right there. Go ahead, Ron, please.
No, I was agreeing with culture 100%. The Disney needs a CEO that actually cares about the guest experience in parks, and the current CEO clearly does not. I don't know if Jeff Valley has to fight for anything, or he tries to, or if they're just like on board with everything what comes down from the top. Josh Tomorrow, I don't know, but honestly, the leadership of Disney has Iger put everything into Disney Plus, which is an absolute failure so far. And the entertainment side of Disney this year, boy, my gosh, losing over $1 billion at the movie theaters. It's when they have such a losing battle on that end, yet they're still trying to fight it. You're like, it's like the kid who just is continuing to play the video game even though he's losing. It's like the gambler who can't stand losing, but he keeps playing. It's like they're addicted to just diving into everything that's bad, instead of focusing on what Disney guests want, which is an amazing park experience that I really, really want to have come back. But right now, it's over at Universal, to be honest.
It really is. It really is, and it's so unfortunate to see the quality slip the way it has. Now, look, if they would have said, "Hey, this is really a family attraction," which we have a lot of little kids that have their glasses on, and sometimes they throw them out, and it gets onto the ride surface, and then obviously with those trackless ride vehicles, it stops the entire ride. And if they would have said something like that, I'm like, okay, not a great excuse, but I could see it. The fact that they cited guest surveys, at least with the Disneyland Paris version of this change, suspicious indeed.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.